Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to see how to solve this problem called score after flipping matrix, right? So it's today's LeetCode challenge. So let's look into the question first of all. Okay, so a matrix will be given to you, and what you have to do, you can do multiple moves, right? So in a particular move, you can pick any row or any column, and then you can flip the values, right? Basically, you can toggle the values. What do you mean by toggling it? Flipping it, right? So you can flip all the zeros to 1 and then all the ones to 0, right? So that's what you can do in a single move. So you can do this multiple times, and let's consider that a particular row is shown in a binary format. So you just have to get the decimal value and sum them up, right? Sum them up for all the rows and get the score. So what do you have to do? You have to maximize the score, right? So see, look at this matrix: 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 0 0 1 1 1 1 1, right? So its decimal values will be 15, 9 and 15, right? So just sum them up and then get the value, that is 39. So this 39 is the maximum possible score that can be formed after doing multiple operations, right? Basically multiple moves. So in a particular move, you can pick up any row or column, and then you can just flip all the values in that row or column, right? Okay, so before getting into the approach, let's understand how this binary number system works, right? So, how this 1001, how I can say that this is 9, how to convert it, right? So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to label something like this: 2 raised to power 0, 2 raised to power 1, 2 raised to power 2, 2 raised to power 3. And then I'm going to do something like this: 2 raised to power 3 into 1, 2 raised to power 2 into 0, 2 raised to power 1 into 0, and then 2 raised to power 0 into 1, right? So this will give 8, this will give 0, this will give 0, this will give 1. And the final answer is 9. That is basically 8 plus 1, right? So now we go to know how to convert a binary to decimal, right? I want you to observe something. Can I ask which bit is the most significant bit? As in, let's say this value, this will be 1, right? This will be what? This will be 8, right? So all these values will be 8, 4, 2, 1. In these values, which is the most significant bit? Can I say 8? Why? Because 8 is having higher value, right? 8 is the greatest value. So I can say the leftmost bit is the most significant bit, right? So let's understand that first of all. These values I have shown in that above slide. So this will be the least significant. Why? This is carrying the least value, right? It will be 1. And this is the most significant. Why? This is carrying the greater value, that is 8 in this case, right? While solving a problem, we have to keep in mind that we have to increase most significant bits, and then we can look into the least significant bits, right? So basically we have to prioritize increasing the most significant bit. So now let's look into the question, what it is saying. The question is saying two things. First of all, we have to find the highest possible score, right? Highest possible score. And then we can toggle either by picking a column or by picking a row, right? So this particular row, this will give 3 decimal value. This row will give 10 decimal value. This row will give 12 decimal values, right? So summing them up, the answer will be 25. Okay, so can you visualize this? Can you can I write the same thing like this? Can I write the same thing like this? Yes, why? Because see, these values are 2 raised to power 1 and then 2 raised to power 0, and this value, these are 2 raised to power 3 and then 2 raised to power 1. Similarly, these two values will be 2 raised to power 3 and 2 raised to power 2, right? And then we are like summing them up and getting this value. Can I get the summation of all these values and get the answer? Right, we can do that also. Now let's look into the approach, right? Now let's look into the approach that we are going to follow. So let's say this is the input array: 0 0 1 1 0 1 0 1 and then 1 1 0 0. First focus on this area. What did I say before? We have to prioritize most significant bit. That means we have to convert all these to ones. Why ones? Because when we convert all these to ones, overall score, this will be increasing, right? So this is already 1, this is already 1. So we have to change this. So we have to convert it into 1, right? But in the question, it is mentioned that if we have to convert it into 1, either we can pick the row and then toggle it, or we can pick the column and then toggle it, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to pick the column. Why? Because see, if I pick the column, these values also will be changing. So I'm going to pick this row and then I'm going to toggle them. So after toggling, they will be something like 1 1 0 0, right? So I'm just changing this 0 0 1 1 to 1 1 0 0. But you might be having a doubt, right? Like let's say there is a number 0 1 1 1. This will be 7. So, by replacing this into 1 and all these values to 0, will I get the greater value still? I'm saying yes. Why? See, look at this example itself. 0 1 1 1, it will give 7, and the first value is 0. Like after converting the first value and toggling all the values, I'm getting 8, right? So now you got to know how important is the most significant bit, right? So first step is done. Like we are actually converting all the zeros in the first column to ones, right? Okay, so since we are converting, we can keep on calculating the final answer also, right? So when all these will be 1 1 1 and 1, what will be the final answer? Can I say 2 raised to power 3 plus 2 raised to power 3 plus 2 raised to power 3? Yes. So the summation will be 24, right? So the summation will be 24. So this particular part, this will give 24, right? So now let's focus on the second column, right? So now let's focus on the second column. So this will give 24. Why? Because see, we have converted all this into 1. We can imagine these all values as 2 raised to power 3. So after summing them up, I will be getting 24, right? Now focus on this column. So in this column, 101 is present. 101 is present. How many ones are there? Two ones are there. How many zeros are there? Only one zero is there, right? So these values will be replaced by 2 raised to power 2, right? 2 raised to power 2. So let's say I'm toggling them. So after toggling, it will become 0 1 0. So now this will be 2 raised to power 2, right? So which value will be greater? Can I say this? Why? Because see, here I am having maximum number of ones, right? So I am getting the maximum number of ones, so that 2 raised to power 2 into those many number of ones I will be multiplying. So I will get the maximum score, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just calculate the number of ones and the number of zeros. If the number of ones is greater, don't toggle it. Take this only and then calculate the answer, which is basically number of ones multiplied by 2 raised to power 2, it will give 8, right? So this row is giving 24, this row is giving 8. So now you might be having some doubt that why I have taken this column wise, right? So like if I have to convert this, if I want to convert this into 1, then I can take this and convert. But the thing is, this bit that we have already set, this will be changed. So once MSB these values are fixed, then we don't have to change this, we don't want to change this, right? So that's the reason for these steps I'm not changing these values. So I'm going column wise, right? So I'm going column wise, that's the reason. Okay, so moving forward, like when I look into this column, number of ones are 1 and number of zeros are 2, right? Here and here 0 is there, right? So number of zeros are 2. Oh, okay, so the number of ones are way more lesser. So what do we have to do? After toggling it, what happens? Number of ones will increase, right? So that's what we want, right? So number of ones will increase. So just toggle it, then get the number of ones, and then do the same thing, right? Number of ones, that is 2 into 2 raised to power 1, which will be giving 4, right? But if you think carefully what I'm doing here, I'm actually getting the maximum of number of zeros and number of ones, right? So let's say ones are having the maximum number, so I'm not toggling it. Okay, fine. And let's say zeros are having the maximum count, so I'm toggling it. Okay, so even after toggling it, ones will be converted to this number, right? So basically what I'm doing, I'm getting the maximum of these two counts, right? So without doing this, without going and iterating through these values and then toggling it, so I can directly get the value. No, I can directly get the value after toggling. That will be the maximum of these two values, right? So from now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the maximum value and then I'm going to multiply that value with the significance of that position, right? So now moving forward, I am looking into this column, right? So this column is having zeros 3 and then 1 0. So which is the maximum? 3. So 3 into 2 raised to power 0 will give 3. Why I am taking this maximum? See, after toggling, ones will become these 3, right? See here, right? So I'm just getting the maximum value and then, multiplying it with this 2 raised to power 0. So this column will be giving the summation that is 3, right? So now let's, add all these values and get the answer. That is 24 plus 8 plus 4 plus 3. This will give 39 and this 39 will be your answer, right? See, 39 is there, right? So now let's see the code and how we are implementing this, right? So this row will be the row size and this column will be the column size, right? And then I'm keeping this answer that is max C. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to make the leftmost bit to 1 in each row, right? So I'm going to go to each row and I'm going to check the first column, right? 0th column, whether it is 0 or not. If it is 0, I'm going to call this function that is flip row. So flip row, what it is doing is it will go to all the elements and then it will flip the values, right? If it is 0, it will be 1. If it is 1, it will be 0. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to make all elements in the first column to be 1, right? So this loop will do that. And simultaneously, I'm calculating the maxi values, right? Maxi value will be 2 raised to col minus 1, right? So in this example, let's say there are 4 values. This will be 2 raised to col is basically 4. It will be 3, right? So how many our rows are there? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. So the summation of all the leftmost bit, this will be getting sorted, right? So this loop will be doing that. And then I'm going to all the other rows that are from 1 till the last row, right? And then I'm going to count the ones and zeros in that particular row. And then I'm going to get the maximum count. Then what I'm doing, maximum count into 2 raised to power col minus 1 minus I. Here minus I came. Why? Let's say there are so many values and the indices are basically 0, 1, 2 and 3 and the values are 2 raised to power 3, 2 raised to power 2, 2 raised to power 1 and 2 raised to power 0. So this value, can I write it something like, 2 raised to power 4 minus 1 minus I? This will give 2 raised to power 3, right? Because I is 0 here. And here, this I will become 1 and this 3 will become 2, right? So 2 raised to power 2 it will become. Similarly, this will be 2 raised to power 1 and this will be 2 raised to power 6. So this will take care of that and I'm multiplying 2 raised to power that value with this maximum count. And at the end, max C will be storing the answer and I'm simply going to return that, right? So now let's discuss the time and space complexity. So time complexity is basically rows into columns. Why? Because see, in this also at worst it will be of n into m, basically rows into columns. In this loop also it will be of rows into columns, right? So the time complexity will be rows into columns and space complexity will be of 1 because we are not using any extra space, right? So that's it for today's video. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. So if you are still watching, please comment down below something like I have seen till the end so that I will get to know somebody is getting benefit out of these videos, right? Okay then, until next time, see ya.